transfer news business. Tab police, you're gonna have to allow me. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know for that one, but I hear it, man. I don't hear it, but yeah, man. Maneuver with that. Big up you for that one. Scrolling across, fucking hell, there's a lot in it. Bloody hell, geezer. So yeah, let's start looking at this. Tab police, allow me. Where should we start? Let's start with this FFP stuff. Now, spoiler alert, I don't think we have anything to worry about because, as Daniel Cutts has said here, looked at because Arsenal were spending money and quickly dismissed by UEFA, dealing within their means and can still spend lots more this summer if they want. That's the good news. But the articles have been saying, and this was yesterday/today, exactly, Kaka was privileged. He weren't a favela Brazilian youth. Done Latin and got 12 GCSEs. He was a bloody good player for Chelsea, wasn't he? Arsenal are placed on UEFA watch list with Barca and PSG for potentially breaching FFP rules after the Gunners report staggering 230 million loss over 3 years. Again, fear mongering. If we've got nothing to worry about, we've got nothing to worry about. 20 European clubs have been placed on this watch list, people. We're one of them. It is what it is. Where's the others? You lot can read this in the finances. If there's nothing in it, it's a mean story, really. Apparently, there's 10 other European sides. That includes Barcelona, PSG, Juventus, Inter Milan, and Roma. So them teams there, you don't really want to be next to, but is what it is. FFP's a flawed logic. So there you have that, people. Arsenal insiders insist they are and will be compliant with UEFA rules and have received no warning from Europeans governing body UEFA, and they've declined to comment, but it's believed it will initiate discussions with any club perceived to be at racks. So there's something to consider. Fabrizio Romano on Telemans has said he's one of the priorities in the list for Arsenal since May. They've always been in contact with people. Maybe they're waiting for more outgoing. So nothing really new there. FFP does feel like a myth, really. Wenger thought that was going to be it. On Pedro Neto, it's true he's the priority. He's a player super appreciated by Edu and Mikel Arteta. They consider him a perfect player for the idea of football they are having. It was already discussed internally. Let's see what happens. And again, on Neto, at the moment, the stance of Wolves is that they hope to keep the player and they're asking for important money. I think more than 50 million. Let's see what Arsenal will decide. But for sure, he's one of the players they are targeting, folks. Pedro Neto, Arsenal fear being priced out of move for top transfer target as Wolves demand up to 50 million. Arsenal fear they will be priced out of a move for Wolves winger Pedro Neto. As you know, we spent more than 100 million already, and you're hoping that doesn't stop because for me, definitely a centre mid and a winger minimum, maybe a couple of others, but them two there. On the pursuit of Lisandro Martinez, maybe there's scope for another winger as well. Man said winger, bro. Yeah, we're still keen to recruit a winger, though, and the club have identified Neto as a top target, and obviously Pepe might be keeping it moving. Don't forget to subscribe with Amazon Prime, Twitch gang. A switch to North London for the Portugal international before the transfer window shuts next week will be tough. Wolves could demand as much as 50 million. He signed a new contract in March, a 5-year deal at that. Arsenal want to sign a new winger as club record signing. Pepe is in talks. Replacement for the Ivorian. He is represented by super agent Mendes, who brokered Vieira's move from Porto to the Emirates earlier this summer. Neto grew up an Arsenal fan. He was voted for the 2020-21 campaign player of the season. He had a serious knee injury, but looks to be putting that behind him. I don't see us spending 70 million on a winger and midfielder. I hear that. Get the likes up to 300 now, people. We should go for Diaby. He's just signed a new deal, and he'll probably cost more than Neto, really, because yesterday when we was looking at Neto, apparently we saw that we're willing to pay 35. We can go up to as high as 50. Apparently they're willing to allow us to do the structured Bright House payments, so we'll have to see. Apparently he's keen on the move, but who knows? Arsenal are trying to negotiate a deal for Wolves winger Pedro Neto, but will not be held to ransom for the Portuguese international after being priced out of a deal for Neves earlier in the summer. Arsenal are wary of Wolves' demands for the wide player, says Mark Irwin. It's understood that Arsenal are prepared to offer as much as 35 million for Neto. Wolves are looking for at least 50, despite just signing a ready-made replacement in 27.5 Ronaldo Guedes. And they've held on to Ruben Neves at least for a year. They've sold Gibbs White for abnormal amount of money. So he's calm, man. Where do you think Vieira plays? He could play off the right, like against Swansea on the 21s level. I want to see him as a 10 or a left-sided 8, especially if we don't bring in a left-sided 8, man. It's unlikely Arsenal will be able to match Wolves' huge valuation. There have been no talks between the clubs. As we know, it's Mendes. We're talking with Mendes. Mendes is talking on behalf of Wolves and Arsenal. He's probably leaning on Wolves to let the man go, and then he's feeding back to Arsenal to know the feasibility and what sort of fee. There's no official dialogue between Arsenal and Wolves. So if there's no official dialogue, there's no fees agreed. There can't be a medical. The player can't hold no shirt. So we're nowhere near there yet, people. I haven't seen much. I haven't even seen much of Neto. Have you been watching it? So if you haven't seen much of Neto, how can 50 million be too much for him? Rightly or wrongly, if you haven't seen him. I'm not saying you're wrong or right. It just doesn't make sense. If you haven't seen someone, you know, if you don't know something about an item, if you're not, if I have an art picture, an art like from an art gallery, and I don't know about arts, how can I put a value on it? It's not making sense. But yeah, it's unlikely Arsenal would be able to match Wolves' huge valuation. There's been no talks between the two clubs, and it's likely Arsenal would have to sell to fund the transfer or hope the deal could be structured in a way would bring the fee down. The Times understands Arsenal have been in discussions with his agent, Jorge Mendes, over a potential deal, and he's tried to get his client Felix out of Atletico. Ronaldo might leave United. If Neves goes to Arsenal to go with Fabio Vieira and anything else he's doing, Mendes is getting paid out here, people. Yeah, man, over a deal, but the finances around such deal would make it complicated. Wolves do not want to sell and value him between 50 and 60 million quid, people. Arsenal opened talks with Martinelli over a new long-term deal on a huge pay rise after stunning start to the season. Lovely to commit the 21-year-old. You know, if you can commit him, Saka, Saliba, I'd actually, and everybody else, then if these players ever want to leave, we can get good money. And if not, they can be used to help build things, people. We need to, bro, that's exactly what we need to do, bro. And I mean, if we're willing to spend 35 million and give them 15, 20 million in additional payments, you know, I don't mind that. I don't even care if Arsenal spend 50 million up front because we've done a lot worse, really. As long as Arteta knows how he can make him better at 22, and he's a player I've looked at since he was at Braga and Lazio, I'm having him. Talks are progressing well between Arsenal and Nice for Pepe. Positive conversations also today over a loan deal until next year. Salary coverage now discussed as final step. Pedro Neto part of AFC list, as David Ornstein reported, but priority is still outgoings. And the more we hear Pepe leaving to go to Nice, Ainsley Maitland-Niles to West Ham, whether it be Betis or Barcelona in Bellerin's case, the more we get, the more they go, the more that's needed, man. The more we can make some movements. Arsenal have already held initial talks over a move for Neto. Arsenal want to pay 35 million. Wolves want a huge 50. No official bid yet, but Arteta a huge fan of the winger, as it states here, folks. What's going on here? There you have it, 214, man. Up the rates. Jamrock TV, shout out to you for gifting out a community sub over there on Twitch. You're a great guy. So there's that. An English club arrives on Nicolas Pepe. Google Translate ain't doing much, but apparently Leicester are also looking at Nicolas Pepe, people. I don't really buy that because it seems like we're advancing, but who really cares as long as the man goes? Should he not stay at Arsenal at the end of the transfer window? The Ivorian is courted by several clubs in Europe. You'd imagine Leicester are more likely to pay his wages, provided he wants to go there, people. And it seems like he could be going Nice, but the Leicester rumours have reappeared really and truly. And right on goal, Leicester could give it a go for shock Arsenal transfer before the window shuts, people. They could make a move for Nicolas Pepe before the transfer window shuts, according to reports in France. It's come primarily out of France, so you've got to look at it. You know, is that games being played by Arsenal to get this over the line? Is it legitimate? I don't really know, man. So I'm not too sure. Liverpool have been linked with Yuri Telemans, right on time, people. Obviously, with their midfield problems highlighted against United yesterday, Liverpool could make late window bid to sign Arsenal target Yuri Telemans, which puts a spanner in the works for Arteta. Again, I don't know how credible Ben Jacobs is when it comes to stuff, but yeah, let's see exactly what he said. As an aside, Arsenal better hurry if they want Telemans. It wouldn't remotely surprise me if Liverpool changed their stance and consider a late window bid. Telemann still wants Arsenal, and a move remains very possible. Leicester braced for offers. So yeah, man, and I mean he'd have to consider it really. Arsenal confident of loaning out phenomenal player. Think club will pay most of his wages. Gassing it. I mean, we've got at least minimum 50-50, ideally 60-40 where Nice are concerned, really, where Pepe is. But it seems like the only thing holding that up is the wages, or who is going to be paying those wages. And again, when it comes to Pepe, Nice have it confirmed Pepe's loan is without a buy option. His arrival is expected this week, so he can play against Marseille, where he could play against, technically a teammate in Tavares. It's impossible for him to play on Thursday in whatever Nice are in because he wasn't registered. Arsenal resigned to taking a massive hit on Pepe. He was set to join Nice on loan with an option to buy next summer for around 15 million quid. Now, again, that's very different. 1 minute there is a thing and then there's not. In relation to Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Arsenal expect to offload Ainsley Maitland-Niles before the transfer deadline, with West Ham, Bournemouth, Fulham and 2 Europe clubs among those to show interest in the versatile England international. Get it done, innit? You know, he's on the last year of his deal. Keep it moving, really. It's as simple as that. He ain't got a future here, if I'm completely honest with you. Once again, where Pedro Neto is concerned, people, Arsenal will push to conclude winger signing. Formal discussions have taken place with Mendes over a deal for Neto, but not Wolves. But following the sale of Morgan Gibbs White to Forest, Wolves do not feel inclined to sell. However, an offer in the region of 50 million could swing the balance should Arsenal be willing to bid that high. I don't know. And obviously, it's just going on with what's going to happen with Pepe. Scrolling all the way down, I need some water. Neto is not the only target under consideration, with Yeremy Pino also of interest among others. The identities of those players are not known as Arsenal continue to operate beneath the radar. For now, the Portugal international remains the priority. As long as it means you're going back for Yeremy Pino, you're going to bring something. It's calm. I don't like we tried business. Once again, Fulham, Bournemouth, West Ham are all interested in Ainsley. Keep it moving. We play Fulham on the weekend. Start talking. Apparently, Barcelona have asked Bellerin to wait for them until the end of the window. I think we're all tired of seeing that. Final stage of negotiations now to discuss Pepe's salary for Nice, says Romano. And apparently it's a dry loan. Bellerin would be signed as a free agent and would have going to give them more free signings. I hear it. And then they're going to end up flogging him in a couple of years. They'll probably loan him out or sell him to Betis next year when they realize he can't take a bloody throw-in. So yeah, really and truly, that's just that. Once again, Hector Bellerin's been asked by Barca to wait for them until the end of the window. They've been linked with quite a couple of fullbacks. On Aubameyang, Florian Palettenberger said, we've been told that all parties are optimistic to finalize the deal in the next few days. Tuchel wants him. Aubameyang wants the transfer agreement between Aubameyang and Chelsea in principle. Talks about 20 million euros plus bonus payments. So yeah, it is what it is. Granit Xhaka's goal involvements in each of the last 4 Premier League seasons. So far this season, he's got a goal and 2 assists. And that was his record for the last 3 campaigns. So he's developing under Mikel Arteta, as you can see. Let's see what the Scum newspaper has had to say in relation to any other Arsenal news. Shout out young Tom Smith, who has joined Bromley National League side on loan. The 20-year-old's going out on loan to get experience, and he's the latest academy prospect to follow Mika Berev, Marcelo Flores, Brooke Norton-Coffey, Ryan Elaboso, Miziza Gongbo, and many others will be here all day. There's Bearman that have gone out on loan. So yeah, it is what it is. Let's see what's going on here. I mean, Martinelli new deal, Neto's 50 million price tag, lies about FFP concerns. Look at this pussy. Hope you die in there, you pussy. I'm not even gonna read that article, you pussy. You get, hey, dons like you should die, bro. Pussy, what are we doing that for? Anyways, it don't seem big up Brooke Norton-Coffey for going out on loan. That's about it, really, you know. We'd all love Lucas Paqueta, but them rumours seem to have been gone. What else is there in that regards? Again, we can send back over the initial reports. You know, the Athletic did break it first, and if you did miss out on these things, people, apparently the top target is Pedro Neto. Talks have taken place for more than a month, and central to the dialogue is the middleman Mendes, who represents Neto and has close links to the Molineux and better yet Wolves people. Conversations so far have involved Mendes liaising with Arsenal and Wolves separately, which he's the middleman, isn't it? You know, we don't want to talk to the guy who claims he's the plug. We need to talk to the actual guy, innit? Really. So until Wolves and Arsenal begin to talk, we're no is concrete, and we've been watching him before Arteta even stepped foot at this club, people. Their counterparts do not want to sell the 22-year-old this summer. He signed a new deal in March. It's unclear what level of finance it might take for Wolves to contemplate letting one of their key men depart, but discussions are ongoing as Arsenal explore whether a deal could be achievable. Previously, and obviously we have seen towards the end, not just Arsenal, but other clubs, that Neto could be available, people. And with, they brought in Matheus Nunes and Guedes, they might want to tie Neto into what they're doing, or they might say, you know what, we'll let you go. So it all depends what you're looking at there. Once again, Arsenal are in talks, people. We'll have to see how this one develops, really. But I think we'd all welcome new signings. If it seems if Telemans is the one Mikel Arteta wants, and if Pedro Neto is the one Mikel Arteta wants, just get it done at this point. Just get it done, man. Get the outgoings done. Get those two players in, and it's a wrap, really, truly, really and truly. So yeah, man. I think that ends any transfer rumors there was, really, folks. So yeah, that's that. Neto and Telemans, and we're challenging for the league. I'm sorry, but the Kool-Aid's